Transparency is a strong tool in design. You definitely need transparency. With transparency, you can see through an object and you can control the amount of the transparency. So assuming we have these objects, then we have another object, then we'll have yet another object. That's 3 objects. Then we'll have different colors for the objects. If I add transparency to this object, I'll see through it to the object below it and this object. If I add transparency to this, I'll see the objects below it. So let's start by adding transparency. First step will be to click transparency. This option starts to come out. How do you want the transparency? So if you drag, it will give you a uniform transparency, but from the tool we can have uniform transparency. We've seen that this object, through this object, we are seeing object behind it. That's now we can set the level of transparency. So we want to make it less transparent. So we will drag down. It's less transparent. If it is 100%, it means it's a ghost. It will disappear. You can see through it. So that's the power of transparency. Okay, as we earlier said, it's good to work with the Dockers. On transparencies effect is under properties. So we go to Dockers and we call up properties. Under properties, you will see transparency. You select an object. So this is the transparency tool. When this tool is here, you can click the tool and you select your objects from here. So we have the transparency selected. Then what type of transparency? This is block. We'll have normal transparency, and you still have a whole lot of transparency. We'll demonstrate with multiply transparency. Gives you natural transparency. In your good time when you're practicing, you see what other ones will give you. So what is the level of transparency? We'll click here and we select the level of transparency. So if we make this object transparent, this second one, you see we are in 1 point, just clicking. If we make this transparent, we'll see through it and we can set the level of transparency. All of them have the same, we have the same settings. So these are the first way you use transparency. You use transparency to match objects, to match pictures. You use it to decorate too, more especially when it is fountain transparency or the texture transparency. You have all the tools here. So we'll demonstrate them one after the other. Let's use transparency on this map to frame this picture. So we have a box that covered it. We choose the color we want. We'll go to the transparency tool. We want it to start from the center and now spread out. So, but this is a square. So we want this transparency to be conical or elliptical. So we select this. We want to move this center to the man's eye. We want this to come closer. Then this line shows the spread of the color, the effects of transparency. You see what happens? It going closer to the whites. This spreads out to whites. You can make it come nearer. So this is how to get the effect you want. You can still do this and make it closer, or can concentrate it by making it like this. So this is the effect you have on this object. Then we have ready-made transparencies. Some even use texture. So these are the types of transparency you have. Some are good for conical. These are the colors involved. Okay, so you can also use it to match pictures. Let's make this man, let's give a feeling, we clear the transparency here. We'll drop the tool. Let's give the feeling that this man is seen from this fire. So we put fire here. We increase this. Let's get this out of the way. We add transparency here. Maybe uniform transparency, which is this. So this is the picture. So we increase we decrease the transparency to make it. So let's zoom in and see what we're doing. So this is the effects we've just created just now. So let's combine transparency and envelope to change the dress of this lady. First, this is the object we want to use. We want it a little bit transparent, so we go to the transparency tool. Because it's transparent, we are seeing through it, so we can see the outline of this plot. So we want to use envelope to modify this plot and use transparency to look like this lady's plot. So we go to envelope. Where is our envelope? So in envelope, we want the one that will give us room to add and remove nodes. So we start aligning this to the plot. Because we are seeing through the transparency, it's easy for us to get to the edge of the plot. So it's easy for us to get to the edge. We can add nodes and we can remove stubborn nodes. So during your practice, you make it look very perfect. This is what we are having. At the end, we would have changed the roof of this lady. So this has taken place. We are saying the outline, so it's easy. It may require patience for you to get everything right, but this will show you the power of transparency and envelope. So we've totally modified the attire of this lady just by using transparency. So this is how you can add two images, make images blend. Okay, we can always remove a stubborn node and add more. So this is what we've gotten. Let's increase the transparency and see what we have. Remember, we can still adjust this to match. So we have all the tools to do that. So we increase the transparency. This is what we are having. So put all these ideas together to make your designs. We are still seeing the outline of the plot, and we are still using our fire attire. So this is what we've got. So if we have patience, if you're patient enough to get this done very well, you get a perfect replacement of the lady's plot. Okay. So what else do we have under transparency? Okay. You can use texture for your transparency. Very good tool. Let's get this. Let's get the transparency tool. Let's make it transparent. Block transparency. This is how we've painted the car. Let's go again and add texture to this transparency. So this is the fountain, which we've used the conical. Then this is a vector pattern. Let's choose the pattern. The pattern we didn't select this one. It's another update that was selected. I'll click and say remove the transparency on that we're interested in this. So we now go to the vector. You see our vector, you see the same setting we did before. So we go and get the big vector. This is what we are having on top of the car. So all this, you see how perfect it looks, as if the car is parked behind this wall because of the transparency too, and the pattern. It's a very good thing for the tool for you to use. Let's go to the texture. Now we'll have different textures. And remember that this is not making sense because of the scale. So you remember your scale. We go down. use the frequency to set how this will look. We have it at 40 now, and it's giving us a better look. Let's look at how it looks at 30. Let's check how it looks at 40. So you use the frequency, and also you can set the background too. So this is the effects we're having. So these are the things you can add to your transparency.